Two goods can the firm buy? Is constrained by what? Is constrained by the budget line. Constrained by its cost. Right? For example, you draw this straight line, how many points do you need? You need two points, right? So first, is the firm's budget or the cost is C naught? On the vertical axis, how many labor does the firm buy? 0. So the firm is buying 0 units of labor. How many capital can they buy? So we take the budget or cost side divided by here's good Y, here's good Y. This good is not called good Y, right? It's called good capital divided by the price of capital. What's the price of capital called? Interest rate. So we take the budget of the firm, so the budget is going to count the cost. This given cost, how many capital can they buy? Divided by the price of capital called interest rate. So this 1 point. Now to draw a straight line, we need 1 more point here, right? Now on the horizontal axis, capital is how much? 0. So here the firm is buying 0 units of capital. Now if they are buying 0 units of capital, what's the maximum amount of labor they can buy? So we take the budget of the firm. The budget is called cost, 10 million, divided by what? Here is good X, then here will be price of X. Here is good labor, here will be divided by price of labor. The price of labor is called what? Wages, right? Okay, that's why you get this point. So these 2 points join up. So we get the budget line of the firms. It shows the maximum combination of 2 things that the firm can buy. So it's the same for all constraints. All budget constraint shows the maximum quantity of 2 things the firm can buy, right? For Peter, it's called good X, good Y. For the firm, it's called good capital, good labor. So you cannot buy outside, and most can buy inside. So what you have learned in chapter 6 is exactly the same. The characteristics of budget line does not change from chapter to chapter. Every point of the same budget line, the cost is how much? No, just like now, every point of the same budget line last time the income is not N. So here the same, every point of the same budget line, the cost is C now. That's why in English, this line is called what? It's called an equal cost line. Equal cost line, right? But now we don't use English. We use that. English is called equal. Latin is called ISO. Okay, so this line in English is called an equal cost line. Why? Because every point on this line, the cost is how much? You read down C naught. What's the wages? You read down W naught. What's the interest rate? Every point on this line, you read down R naught. So because this is an equal cost line, so they use Latin equal means ISO. That's why the name of this line is ISO cost. Understand? That's all. Otherwise, it's simply just the budget constraint of the firm. Okay? Now, in the same manner you have done in chapter 6, this is exactly the same. On all budget line, people choose where? On all budget line, people choose where? Same thing, tangent point. Right? Needless to say, to maximize. To maximize what? Maximize what? Why tangent point? Because it's a maximization point. Maximize what? UTD cannot be UTD. Remember, consumer wants to maximize satisfaction. Firms, you don't maximize satisfaction. You maximize what? Profit. Profits. But this is not. This is quantity. Certainly not utility. Actually, if you are maximizing profit, maximizing quantity is a necessary condition for maximizing profit as well. Alright. So as long as you know, if it's a firm, you cannot look at it as X and Y anymore, right? Consumers X and Y, maximize utility. So first, you must change your mindset. The concept, everything is the same. You cannot certainly, if you use common sense, how can you derive satisfaction consuming machine? You eat machine, do you feel good? If you buy a machine, how does it feel? Have you ever bought one before? I think your teeth will break you. Right. So it's very simple to tell, right? You cannot be maximizing utility. Okay? You cannot derive satisfaction eating machine. Or even eating water. You derive satisfaction eating labor. Maybe. I'm not so sure. But machine for sure, no. My mind is very different. I'm not sure because sometimes I see quantity. There's such thing called animal. Right. When eating man, animal derive tremendous utility from eating human being. They still practice it in certain parts. Okay, so for sure cannot be satisfactory. Understand? So therefore maximizing quantity, output. Why? Because if you are maximizing quantity, you see, profit is equal to what? Total revenue minus total cost, right? The total cost is equal to average cost times what? Average cost times quantity. But average cost itself is equal to what? Total cost over quantity, right? So I think you can see if you are maximizing quantity, are you minimizing cost? If you are maximizing quantity, what happens to your average cost? Lower. Right. If your Q is very, very big, you're actually minimizing your cost, right? Average cost, and therefore your profit is high. Okay? You cannot see from here, you can also look at the other formula. Profit is equal to price minus average cost times quantity, right? Now, if you are minimizing your average cost, you are maximizing your profit. Fair. So it's consistent with profit maximization, which some of you just now said, why should they choose Standard Bond? Because they are maximizing profit. But not necessarily. It's one of the conditions to maximize profit. Understand? It's still to find the optimal price and the optimal quantity. Okay? Okay, now, in these firms wish to maximize output quantity. Now, what you have learned before, the utility curve and the quantity curve, is exactly the same. The features of a utility curve are all the same. Every point on the same curve, the utility is the same, right? Same here. Every point on the quantity curve, the quantity is the same. Every point on this line. Those isoquant quantity curves that are further out, the quantity higher, just like utility. And second, there are millions of isoquant, and they're all parallel to each other, just like utility. Understand? The features are all the same. Now, that's why in English you can call this an equal quantity curve. Equal quantity curve. Understand? Except here they confuse you, they change to Latin. Equal stand for iso. Understand? So therefore iso quantity. Iso quantity. Now, so the firms definitely will choose this point. You will buy this amount of capital, you will buy this amount of labor to maximize output quantity. Now, maximizing output means minimizing what? Cost. So most textbooks will not say maximizing output. They will say what? Minimizing cost. Understand? So if you want to produce Q0, this amount, let's say 100, right? The cheapest way to produce Q0 is to produce at point A. Nothing can be lower than producing at the tangent point A. And what's the cost? If you produce at point A, read down the line, the cost is C0. Okay? Or put it the other way, the cheapest way to produce Q0 is to use this combination of capital K0, this combination of labor L0. That will give you the lowest cost to produce Q0. Okay, so this is what we have learned in our basic intro. But in ME, we also want you to know that just like the DT curve, there's another isoquant called L shape. Understand? So we're going to show you 3 types of isoquant, just like 3 types of UTD.